But as you know, this is a series of a beautiful expert speak session by the program Plan to Win. We have 6 super leaders here. This is a beautiful, for those of you, I can see some new people. Uh, welcome, Devin. So Plan to Win program is a life management program and a system that will not only give you strategies and techniques, but also the attitude you need to make the most of your precious time. This is a space that will move you towards creating and realizing your goals. So we have a community here, and the vision is to build this community which creates the future of their choice, jahan success is followed by ease and grace through creativity, commitment, and integrity. You can see more people joining. So good morning and thank you again. Did you know that our minds have a direct connection with the way we write? You must have encountered this, and हम अपने बच्चों को भी बोलते हैं अच्छे से लिखो, हम calligraphy सिखाते हैं. So there's an interesting connect between our handwriting, our capabilities, and our personality traits. तो हमने सोचा कि ये जो साइंस है, आर्ट है या साइंस है, ग्राफोलॉजी, इसको कैसे पढ़ा जाए, कैसे समझा जाए? How do you study one's handwriting? How do you understand yourself and people around you? Because like it or not, handwriting speaks volumes about you as a person. So question is, can you know yourself better through your handwriting? Secondly, can you use this as a therapy for self-improvement? So today, in the expert speak session, we have with us the graphotherapy specialist, Mr. Naveen Toshniwal. Naveen ji, after completing engineering from Jadavpur University, Naveen joined his family business of manufacturing, instrumentation, and industrial cables. Having learned graphotherapy from his father, he pursued it as a part-time profession. Naveen has been invited by various institutes like ISB, Amity, Rivaji University, Rotary clubs, and a whole host of other institutions. He has been published by leading journals, newspapers, channels in different languages, in different countries, India, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. He has appeared on television channels also across these nations. Naveen, over his time, has impacted many lives through his one-on-one counseling and graphotherapy sessions all over India. And you may find him on traitreader.com. We will publish his details for you. If you want one-on-one counseling sessions with him, it might be great. So now today, let us engage with Naveen ji to understand the science of graphology and graphotherapy for character analysis and self-improvement. Over to you, Naveen ji. And before this, I will also share with our viewers that let this be an interactive session and ask as many questions as you want. Just raise your hand or put it up in the chat and we'll take it one by one. Over to you. Thank you. Naveen, you have to unmute. This is, you're muted.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and pleasure to interact with all of you today morning. First, I will tell you a brief history about Grapho Analysis. About 2000 years back, there was a well-known Greek scholar, Aristotle. He was the first person who actually established a link between the mind and the handwriting. He used to say that handwriting is actually mind writing. Whatever is there in your mind, it comes out through the hand and through the pen on the paper. Unfortunately, the awareness about this science did not spread so much. Yes, some countries in Europe and in America, they are using this as a tool for corporate placements. They get handwritten applications from the candidates where they are able to analyze the characteristics and personality of a person in details, even before the interviews. So it forms a good tool for them to exactly know in which department they would probably be better suited if they are employed. The awareness in India is very less. See, we have all heard about graphology. It's a very basic science where you are actually comparing two handwritings, whether they belong to the same person. Sometimes there are frauds which people are doing in the banks, forging signatures. So, in such cases, the forensic department is employed, and in turn, they will hire graphologists to actually compare two handwritings, whether they belong to the same person. Now, grapho analysis is actually something different, where we are analyzing the personality or characteristics of a person in details through the strokes in the handwriting. And now, the most amazing part, which is graphotherapy, where you are actually making conscious efforts to change some strokes in the handwriting and practicing it for a very short while. And it will bring a change in your personality or characteristics within a short duration of about 2 to 3 weeks. So this is what grapho analysis and graphotherapy is. Now I will tell you what all we can actually analyze through the handwriting. It is anything related to your personality or characteristics. Remember, this is not astrology. I am not able to predict your future or past through the strokes in the handwriting. I will just tell you the personality as on date, or the handwriting which is received on a particular date. You will be analyzed what you were on that particular date. Like what we can analyze is what are your ambition levels, how ambitious you are, whether you have long-term goals, well-defined goals or not, whether you are sensitive, whether you are creative, and whether you are actually using your creativity, whether you are a calm-headed person or you have short temper, whether you are an expressive person, you will show your emotions, or you are an introvert. Then if you go to little more serious things, we can even detect jealousy, greed, and even in extreme cases, we can even see strokes of depression. And of course, there is a therapy and remedy for all the characteristics. And the purpose of grapho analysis is actually to go through the therapy whereby you are able to improve or come out of your negative traits and more effectively use your positive traits. Now, I will give a small demo how we are actually doing the analysis through the strokes. I hope this chart is visible. This is a right slant handwriting. This is a straight handwriting. This is a left slant handwriting. Here I've shown the degree of slant. Now, a right slant handwriting depicts a person who is expressive and will show emotions. A straight handwriting is a person who is composed, will generally not show emotions, and this is a person who is capable of meeting emergencies with a calm mind. A left slant handwriting is a person who is reserved, will not show emotions or expressions. More the slant towards the right, more expressive the person is, more the slant towards the left, the more reserved the person is, and this may even imply an introvert if there is too much of left slant. Now, in this chart, I will show you how we can read the mind of a person. These are M's and N's which are ending with a pointed top. A pointed top ending M's and N's indicate people who have a sharp mind. They are able to grasp anything very fast. A quick grasping ability they have.
Can you repeat this, Naveen ji? We could.
Yeah,
Can you
sure,
repeat
sure.
this?
The M's and N's which are ending in a needle-like points at the top. This indicate people who have a sharp mind, a very sharp grasping ability. They will not take time to understand anything. Here you have M's and N's which have got inverted V's, ulta V's. This indicate people who have curiosity for learning. They want to learn new things, explore new things. These are M's and N's. This is the way we were taught to write in school, with a rounded M and a rounded N. This indicates people who are slow thinkers. Now remember, there is nothing negative in a slow thinker. It is just that a person will need more time to understand something. People who are not instant graspers, but they will need to go into details, study and restudy something before they are able to grasp and understand what they actually want to know. Many people may think that this sharp mind person is very intelligent because they are able to understand something instantly. It's not like that. This person who is a slow thinker will go into details, study, restudy something, and will probably able to understand more than the sharp thinker after going into details. It may take few hours or even one day, but this is a person who will be able to understand something in details after going into studies. Okay, now these are some upper strokes which I am showing you. Upper strokes are there in L, M, D, H, B, like that. So this is a straight stroke which does not have a loop. Here you will find that there is a small loop in the H, in the L, and here there is a loop in the T and a bigger loop here in the L. Now, an upper loop indicates a person who is sensitive, touchy. बुरा लग जाता है, कोई कुछ उसको बोल दे, they might take it to heart. Sensitive also implies a person who is compassionate, who feels for others, not able to see others in difficulty. They feel for that person. Now, bigger the upper loop, more sensitive the person is. Okay, now we come to the round letters. This is a normal A. This is a normal O. Here you will see a gap coming in the A and a gap coming in the O. This gap in round letters indicate people who are frank and friendly. They will mix up very well with others and they will tend to be talkative, because those who are frank and friendly will also tend to be talkative. Here you will see there's a small loop in the O, a bigger loop, and even a further bigger loop. This sort of loops in O's or maybe in O's indicate in A's indicate people who are secretive. They will not share things easily what they have in their mind. Now, if this sort of stroke coming in children, in teenagers, I would say it's a negative stroke, because if children are not showing their emotions or feelings, how will you guide them? But in our case, this sort of stroke appearing can also have a positive indication. It implies that people are trustworthy. Don't you think if a person is secretive and you go and tell that person, look, I'm telling you something in confidence, don't share it with anyone else. So you can rely on this person that they will not share anything with anyone else without any valid reason. So this sort of stroke indicates secretiveness, or in a positive angle, trustworthiness. Okay, now here I will show you a stroke where you have double loops. A loop in the beginning of the O and in the end of the O also. This is a dangerous trait. This shows dishonesty, deceit, habit of cheating, habit of lying. So this sort of double loop O's you have to be careful about.
I have a question. Is it okay to ask in the middle?
Yeah, sure. It's an interactive session, sure.
Because like even children, my daughter has been taught how to write cursive and उसकी हैंडराइटिंग सबसे बढ़िया थी एंड ऑल, पर वो तो हर एक बच्चे की वैसी ही होगी जैसे सिखाया है, बिकॉज दे ट्रेस इन द मॉन्टेसरी सिस्टम. सो हाउ इज इट डिफरेंट?
See, actually, it's a very valid question. We are taught by the schools to write in a particular way. But after a certain age, above the age of 13 or 14, the handwriting will be set as per our mindset. That is one of the reasons the analysis and therapy is possible only above the age of 13 or 14. Below that age, your handwriting is not set as per your mind. It is the way we write what we are taught to write in school. So after a particular age, the handwriting is adjusted as per our personality or as per our character.
Very interestingly, I remember that when before I entered architecture, in my school, I thought I had a very terrible um, um, handwriting. But the moment I entered architecture, the first time we practice our handwriting, and we practice calligraphy, not calligraphy, but lettering, basic lettering. So it's interesting that I can make out who is an architect by the way they write. But it also means that we're all in a standard framework again after a certain age also. So how do you tackle that? Like people tell me I've got a wonderful handwriting, but I know in the back of my mind, oh, it changed because I went to an architecture school.
See, actually, the beauty of the handwriting, the way we write, the way the handwriting looks, it has nothing to do with your personality or your characteristics. Lot of people, they come to me and tell me, see, I am writing maybe after 10 years, because these days we don't write practically. We are all on text, on computers. But even if you write after 15 years, your personality will be defined accurately and you will be accurately analyzed through the strokes in the handwriting. Now, people may say that I am writing after such a long time, I will have a bad handwriting, you will not be able to read it. That hardly matters. I am not interested in what you are writing. I am interested in seeing the strokes to analyze your personality. Okay, अच्छा आप बात बताइए, डॉक्टर्स के हैंडराइटिंग आप पढ़ पाते हैं जनरली?
नहीं, उनको तो लगता है लिखने के लिए बोला ही जाता होगा कि ऐसे लिखो कि लगे डॉक्टर है.
तो यही बात है ना, डॉक्टर्स की हैंडराइटिंग कोई पढ़ नहीं सकता. इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि उनकी हैंडराइटिंग अगर गंदी है तो उनका पर्सनालिटी भी खराब है या कैरेक्टर भी खराब है. They are the most intelligent people. That's why they are doctors. इसमें क्या है? We are analyzing the strokes to read the personality. It has nothing to do with the legibility of the handwriting. What they have written, वो खाली chemist shop समझेगा क्योंकि उसको habit हो गया है. But personality पढ़ने के लिए you need not read the content at all. You just need to see the strokes and they will be very clearly visible in any type of handwriting you write.
Got it. Thank you.
Chali, so I will show you the next chart now. These are some lower strokes. G, Y, J, we write the lower strokes. A straight down stroke is a sign of strong determination, a highly determined person. Here you will see a small loop or a narrow loop. This small or narrow loops indicate people who are choosy or selective. Here you have got a loop, here you have got a bigger loop. This sort of loops indicate people who are creative and they have got a good imagination. A half loop like this indicates people who are creative, no doubt, but they are not utilizing their creativity to full extent. This is a very common stroke which we get these days. People are creative, but not utilizing their creativity to their full extent or to their full potential. Okay, now here you have a stroke which is straight down finishing and there is a swing. This sort of swing indicates people who have a good initiative. They are able to initiate. This is a G written like an 8. This indicates people who have fluidity of thinking, very crystal clear thinking and good planning abilities. Now this is the last chart. P is a very important letter in analysis of handwriting. This is a normal T with a T bar and a T stroke, a T stem and a T bar. Here you will see the T bar is cutting towards the top of the stem. This indicates people who are ambitious and they have a well-defined goal. A T bar going in the air, it is above the stem. This indicates people who are overthinkers. They will just go on thinking, ye bhi karna hai, but the practical effort to put their thoughts into action is very less. A T bar going down, cutting towards the bottom, indicate people who lack confidence in their own abilities. They may have self-doubt, हमसे होगा कि नहीं होगा, हम ये करें कि नहीं. A T stem with inverted V indicate people who are stubborn, ziddi. A T bar going to the right, cutting towards the right. It is not cutting the stem, it is going to the right, indicates short temper. A T bar going to the left indicates procrastination, habit of delaying things. A T bar having a hook like this can indicate jealousy or greed. A T bar starting thick and ending in a point indicates sarcasm, a person who might be sarcastic. A slanting T bar towards the downward slanting T bar indicates person who is dominating. Upward slanting T bar indicates people who are optimistic. Here you will see a T bar which is hardly legible. It's just like a dot. This indicates person who might be lacking willpower. They need to improve on their willpower. A T bar with a curve in a concave or a convex way indicates people who have good self-control. They might be aware of some of the negative traits they have in themselves and they are trying to get over it. A waving T bar like this indicates a good sense of humor. Now a T bar and a T stroke, a T stem, which are jointed like a knot, indicates people who are persistent. वो कोई काम ले लिए तो बीच में नहीं छोड़ेंगे. They will not rest till they complete their work. So this will give you an idea how we do the analysis. See now, one or two common queries which I have. What is the significance of signature in handwriting analysis? It's a very common query. A lot of people say that people are telling me to make an upward slanting signature with a line and with dots, which will help you to progress things. People say like that. But as per graphotherapy norms or grapho analysis norms, signature hardly has any value in the analysis of personality. Maybe just one or two traits you might probably be able to analyze, but actually it has no meaning. Ultimately, it is the character analysis which is done through the entire page handwriting. Why entire page? Because it is the repetition of the strokes which define the personality of a person. Like for example, you might be writing T in 5 different ways in your handwriting. What we see is the repetition. How many times the T bar is going up, or how many times it is deep, or it is very light, or it is going down, or slanting downwards or upwards. This is what defines the personality of a person, the repetition in the strokes of the handwriting. That is the reason for accurate analysis, we need the entire page. Thereafter, another thing is that I am being told many times to give a general therapy to everyone. You give a therapy so that, I get a good willpower or a good determination. That also is again not fully correct, because the personality or trait is always individualistic. Every person is unique. So they will have a unique handwriting and unique set of strokes. So it is not possible to give a general therapy to everyone. It is always on one-to-one basis depending on their personality. I'll give you an example. आपने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा, हम आपको एक क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं. What do you say? Willpower is a positive stroke or a negative stroke?
Positive stroke.
हाँ, क्या बोले?
I guess it's a positive stroke.
Yes, generally we will all say that willpower is a positive stroke. Now, let us take the analysis of a theoretical person who is having extreme temper, extreme resentment, badle ki bhavna, a person who is a cheater, धोखाधड़ी के strokes हैं. If that person has got strong willpower, and if you increase the willpower of that person, what happens? Think about it.
Russia and Ukraine needs to fight happens.
हाँ, तो वो तो खतरनाक आदमी बन जाएगा ना. It will be a dangerous situation where the willpower will be actually utilized in going in a negative direction. It will give boost to dishonesty, boost to resentment, and boost to the temper and domination, and that person will become very dangerous. So remember, we cannot give general therapy for increasing just willpower to anyone. You have to see the other traits also. The therapy will depend on the entire analysis. Then only we give the therapy. And remember, another query I have is, these days we don't write. And it's a fact also. We are all on texting, on computers. But this therapy, if you want to improve yourself through this therapy, you have to practice only 5 minutes a day. Just 5 minutes a day for a duration of about 3 weeks. Once that course of therapy is over, you have to just spare 5 minutes a day. And if you can't spare 5 minutes a day, there is nothing which I have to say. Then once you get the changes in you, you will yourself feel the changes after doing the therapy. You need not continue after that. You can just give up your handwriting practice because you have achieved the desired changes, what you wanted through the therapy. So these are the common queries which I have answered from my side. A general therapy of everyone not possible. And I hope I have been able to give some demo or some idea of what graphotherapy is. Gitanjali ji, my presentation is over. Now you can just check up if there are any question answers.
Sure. Naveen, first of all, I have a few questions in my mind, and yeah, let's have Siddharth's question. But before that, I just wanted to check that is there a guideline for the signature of a progressive mindset? मतलब अगर signature, अगर इनको अपने mindset को progressive करना है, तो किस तरह का signature रखें? उससे कोई फर्क पड़ेगा क्या? आपने कहा कि वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता, but I just wanted to check.
See, I am repeating once more. Signature has no value for me in graphotherapy. There are some astrologers who say, probably there are astrologers who say कि up plan करो, उसमें नीचे line लगाओ, dot लगाओ. Remember, astrology is not my subject. I have no knowledge of that. But I can tell you from the point of view of graphotherapy, signature actually has only 0.5% meaning for me in the analysis. It has no value for me. So changing a signature, according to me, is not important. Changing the strokes in the handwriting so that you improve your negative trait, that is more important.
Now, Siddharth, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, Gitanjali, Toshniwal ji, I want to ask you, if I change my handwriting, so my nature will change. Is it so?
You are absolutely right. You don't have to change your handwriting. You just have to change a few strokes and practice it for 5 minutes a day. Just a few strokes. I'll give you an example. Just an example. Now, see this T bar going to the right is short temper.
Yeah.
को बहुत temper है, ये strokes बार-बार repeat हो रहे हैं. I'll just tell the person, cut the T bar. That's it. Do it for 3 weeks. The temper will go. T bar going down is lacking confidence. I'll just tell the person, cut the T bar towards the top like this. Self-confidence level वापस आ जाएगा. These are small strokes, not the handwriting.
So basically, if we submit a page to you, you can actually tell us कि ये चीजें हैं और इनमें अगर आपको improve करना है तो ये वाले traits, ये वाली strokes follow करिए.
Yes, and remember, I am repeating, it is not generalized. It has to be done after the entire analysis is done. Because कई बार क्या होता है, Suppose we give a therapy for short temper. We may probably analyze in the handwriting कि short temper क्यों आ रहा है? Is it because of frustration? Is it because they don't have a long-term defined goal? उसके लिए बार-बार thought होता है, or they are not utilizing their creativity properly. तो frustration हो रहा है इसलिए गुस्सा आ रहा है. So we may have to give a proper therapy on the roots so that you get the best desired results.
Got it. Now, Bob has a question. Bob, would you like to unmute yourself? And after that, we'll have Sabrina.
Yeah, right. Sir, in fact, first of all, good morning to everybody. And thanks for this wonderful program and Gitanjali and the team. My question is simple. Does the family members' behavior to this subject affect his handwriting?
No, I didn't get you.
Strokes. जब हम फैमिली में रहते हैं, फैमिली के बाकी सदस्य का जो बिहेवियर है, उन पर इम्पैक्ट जो होता है. एक समझो एक आदमी है जो उसका माइंड सॉफ्ट है, यानी वो हर चीज इमोशनल है, तो इतना इमोशनल हो जाता है वो कि बाकी सदस्य का जो प्रभाव उस पर पड़ जाता है, उससे उसकी हैंडराइटिंग कभी चेंज होती है क्या?
जरूर होगी सर, बिकॉज हैंडराइटिंग इज अ डायरेक्ट रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ योर माइंडसेट. आप अगर चेंज होंगे तो आपके स्ट्रोक्स चेंज हो जाएंगे.
बिल्कुल.
आप देखिए ओवर द इयर्स आपकी हैंडराइटिंग जरूर चेंज हुई होगी.
बिल्कुल.
सिमिलरली द रिवर्स इज आल्सो ट्रू. इफ यू कॉन्शियसली चेंज योर स्ट्रोक्स, you will change. That's what therapy is.
Okay, followed. I get you.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Yes, I'd like to comment further. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the gentleman in the blue shirt. I'd like to comment on his question is that when I changed my certain strokes in handwriting, that is in particular in planning the execution of my creativity, I brought in a better person to myself and my husband and my sisters and their children, and the whole setting of a family changed. So does my handwriting change influence another? Yes. And can I use handwriting to stay more balanced? I would say yes. So that tells you that I have tried handwriting analysis. I've used the therapy. I use it on some of my clients. My question now here is to our speaker. Do you give classes on handwriting analysis to help therapists like me or individuals? And the other question is, if I were to write a letter to you and send it to you by WhatsApp, would you take up that letter as a client letter, or do you want a physical letter?
See, the second part of the question, these days, everything is online. I have got clients in America and UK also. So physical handwriting is of no use to me. It is actually just the strokes which I want to see. So a clear photograph or a PDF scanned copy by email, that is good enough. And what was your first question?
Do you give classes for therapists like?
Yes. See, actually, I get a lot of requests. You mean for teaching graphotherapy, no? How to analyze handwritings.
Yeah.
How to analyze.
Yes, actually, I get many requests. But see, this is a big subject. And teaching involves a lot of effort and patience. So practically speaking, I cannot teach 2 or 3 people or 5 people at a time.
Sure.
It takes so much of maybe it will take few weeks to go through the entire course of learning. But if I get a group of say 25 or 30 people who are willing to learn, then we can probably plan out a class. See, I'll tell you, I have been invited by a college in Calcutta, NSHM college. They want to introduce graphotherapy as a course for the psychology students. And they are seriously contemplating on this course. So they have already asked me how many hour course it will be and whether you will do online or in a physical mode. All those discussions are going on. And then the university or the college, they also have the authority to give a certification to the students or the people who have learned graphotherapy. Okay.
So, Naveenji, it is giving us an idea that maybe in Plan to Win, we have our participants. Many of them are showing a lot of interest. Maybe we can keep one session where you are teaching. We'll talk about it, and Sabrina will certainly let you know. We have Niranjan. Niranjan ji, please. You have a question? आप unmute कर लें.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Gitanjali. So I had a question that because our handwriting is basically impacted by the writing instrument, that is pen. So does it play a role in our what you can say the graphology? Because when I write with some pen, then my handwriting is very good. When I write with different pens, then my handwriting becomes bad. When I say bad, means like the strokes goes here and there.
No, it's nothing like that. See, as I told you, good or bad handwriting has nothing to do with your personality assessment. You write with any pen. You might get some difficulty. The pen might be getting stuck or whatever, but the strokes will come out accurately. Your analysis and personality assessment will be done accurately, no matter with what pen you write.
Okay. Thank you.
Shalaka wanted to ask a question. Yeah, Shalaka.
Naveen, actually, this is a really personal question that, how we can identify this is the need of, you need a therapy, graphotherapy, because, we tend to learn so many things, and we are in a learning phase right now. So, ask मुझे therapy to us, because it's a good thing. It is giving a solution.
No, actually there was a disconnection in between, probably due to network issue. तो आपका question पूरा समझ नहीं आया.
मैं repeat करती हूँ question. आपने
हाँ.
ग्राफोथेरेपी के बारे में बताया, तो आपके पास जो पेशेंट्स आते हैं, जो भी ग्राफोथेरेपी सीख करते हैं, तो उनके इश्यूज कैसे होते हैं? हमको कैसे पता चले कि हमको ग्राफोथेरेपी की जरूरत है? बिकॉज राइट नाउ वी आर एन एज ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. पीपल आर सीकिंग एंड लर्निंग.
हाँ, ठीक है, क्वेश्चन समझ में आ गया. आई थिंक उनको कुछ नेटवर्क इशू है.
मुझे वो पूछना था.
हाँ, एनीवे, इसमें क्या है देखिए, इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑन सेल्फ इज समथिंग विच इज लाइफ लॉन्ग. इसमें कोई एज और कोई टाइम नहीं है कि हमको इम्प्रूव करना है. बट इसमें आई विल गिव यू कॉमन इश्यूज जिसके लिए लोग हमारे पास आते हैं. पीपल आर क्रिएटिव बट नॉट यूजिंग देयर क्रिएटिविटी. पीपल आर एम्बिशियस. लोगों को है कि हमको लाइफ में कुछ करना है, बट यू आस्क देम क्या करना है, अरे वो हमको क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है, हम ये भी सोच रहे हैं, ये भी सोच रहे हैं. तो पीपल आर एम्बिशियस बट लॉन्ग टर्म गोल्स आर नॉट डिफाइंड. ठीक है. नाउ पीपल आर हार्ड वर्किंग बट दे लैक कॉन्फिडेंस इन देयर ओन एबिलिटीज. तो वो कोई काम करना चाह रहे हैं लेकिन वो स्टार्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. हमसे होगा कि नहीं होगा, हम करें कि नहीं करें. So these are small general things for which the therapy will be very useful. See, I am not saying that graphotherapy is the only solution for any problem. There are so many therapies available, but I can tell you one thing. Graphotherapy is a 100% accurate and proven way of therapy. If you follow it religiously for 5 minutes a day, the changes are bound to come. Why I am telling you with so much authority? See, remember, this is not my business. गीतांजलि जी ने बता दिया हमारा बिजनेस कुछ और है. This is just a passion which I am pursuing for years together. इतने सालों में अगर एक भी क्लाइंट हमको बोला होता कि सर आपकी थेरेपी ने हमको हेल्प नहीं किया, I don't find any change in myself, I would not have pursued this science for so many years. एक भी नेगेटिव हमारे पास फीडबैक आता. The reason why I am pursuing and continuing is that I am being motivated with the positive feedbacks which people are giving me after going through the therapy.
तो मुझे इसी पे एक फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन है. सॉरी, आपने एक्यूरेसी के बारे में बताया नवीन जी, तो मुझे मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि isn't there a possibility कि भाई एक person may just learn a few of the handwriting traits and start writing in not so natural ways to fool maybe a graphologist? Then how does that I mean, how accurate will that be? How accurate will your analysis be, or anybody's in writing be, for that matter, if they know about graphology?
Yeah, see, we are all human beings. Human beings से गलती भी होती है. हैंडराइटिंग आपके बारे में कभी गलत बोल ही नहीं सकता, बट एज अ एनालिसिस पर्सन आई कैन मेक अ मिस्टेक इन योर एनालिसिस. यू आर राइट. जैसे कभी, दैट इज द रीजन व्हेनेवर समवन कम्स टू मी फॉर एनालिसिस, I go on repeating. See, I am doing the analysis. If you have any queries, you can interrupt me and tell me. If you disagree somewhere totally, you can always ask me a query. देखिए, quite possible हम analysis करते समय गलती कर सकते हैं, but handwriting strokes will never say anything which is not correct about you. It is 100% accurate and proven science, subject to human error in the analysis done by me or any other person.
I have a question, Naveen. Naveen, you आपने बोला कि goal setting में
Shalaka's
ग्राफोलॉजी हेल्प करता है.
आई थिंक वो आपके नेटवर्क में कुछ इश्यू है, वो क्वेश्चन नहीं आ पाया.
Shalaka,
Am I audible? So I'll try.
yeah, you are audible. You can type it in the chat box, Shalaka. कि उसके कनेक्शन में इशू आ रहा है.
कुछ नेटवर्क.
Am I audible? Am I audible right now?
Yes.
हाँ, yes, now it is coming.
So anybody else has a question?
Me?
Yeah,
Gitanjali,
Sabrina. Yeah.
I'd like to also ask.
So
after
it's a
the-
Yeah, Sabrina.
this is a comment to your question, Gitanjali, and I speak as a therapist. When you want therapy to take place, psychological therapy to take place, primarily what presents to the therapist is what you say from your unconscious level. You're not aware you're going to say it, and yet you say it. Now, there is a science called metaphors. And metaphors, for example, is like I ask you, so how are you feeling? And you say, I feel like there's a rock on my chest. Okay. Now, to analyze this metaphor that there is a rock on your chest requires a lot of practice, gifts, understanding, dissections. However, in handwriting, okay, you cannot really cheat at the unconscious level. And in the representation of what your unconscious is telling the therapist, the handwriting analysis, handwriting is one of the things that has far more structure. Yes, there is permutation and combination, yet there is far more structure. So as a therapist, the handwriting analysis therapist can isolate one aspect of you. For example, my therapist told me, he said, you are so angry that you're likely to get a heart attack. So being the person that I am, I said, okay, show me on my 2.5 pages, where are the signs that I will get a heart attack? And I said, okay, so all you're telling me is to change my tea? He said, yeah. I said, you got your 2,500 rupees worth, I'm changing my tea. And a lot of things change downline. The response, the way I spoke, my tone, my choice of words, my intention started changing. I can say something rough. I can say something that's not sweet and juicy and oozy and cozy, but I yet have a much nicer way in presenting it. So to answer your question, that which comes from the unconscious mind is the absolute truth. The saddest human intellectual aspect in my life is that we do not have we may have the intelligence, but we don't have the intellect to dissect that and understand and help the person or ourselves.
इसमें गीतांजलि जी,
That
I
is what the
will.
discovery is. The journey is to discover ourselves and nuances in different ways. Yeah, thank you, Sabrina. That was so helpful.
Yeah, I will give you a specific case which I have handled, which was something worth mentioning. Some girl came to me, young girl, 20, 21 years of age. She was in a very bad state. She was not even able to speak and express kya chal raha hai. So when I analyzed the handwriting, then I was able to see very creative person, very talented person, but there were some strokes of depression and a very dangerous trait I spotted, that was suicidal tendencies. Now, it was a very delicate thing to handle because you cannot tell the child or her mother you have suicidal tendencies. You cannot say that. So I tackled it in a different way. I said, see, this stroke is not good. Please change the stroke. And then you come back to me. So initially, she did not do the therapy, but then she came to a friend, usko bola ki ye therapy nahi kar rahe hain, unko boliye karne, wo iska strokes अच्छे नहीं है. Then she started doing therapy, and after a gap of about 1 month, when she came back to me, there was a lot of change in her.
Yep.
She said, "Good morning, sir. How are you?" That itself was a very big change. Then after that first stroke, suicidal tendencies wala jab over ho gaya, then we went in for the other therapies. Now today she is okay and she is employed also.
Great. Meenakshi, we can have your question, please unmute.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's such a wonderful session, and I'm sorry I entered in a little late. I just wanted to ask, like, my handwriting is constantly changing. Even my signature changes over the period of time. So I don't know what and how to analyze this. But in every diary that I look at, my writing is a little different. So I'm sure you would find it constant, but to me, it seems quite different. It also changes with my mood, etc. So I was just wondering, why is this so?
See, this is a very common query. You feel that your handwriting changes, maybe when you look at it physically, but the strokes will not change. But as you said, over the years, it may change because you would have changed. But if you write today in a good mood and in the evening in a bad mood, that doesn't matter at all. You may think that you are writing in a hurry or you are writing in a scratchy way. That doesn't matter at all. You will be still accurately analyzed. The strokes will not change. The strokes will still remain the same.
Wonderful. Gitanjali, hats off to you to again bring us a gem out of the great ocean that the world is. Thank you. Thank you.
You're all very dear friends, and I just, it's like a round robin where your chance will come someday. Right, Meenakshi ji? So it's a very strong community, plan to win. It's a very contributory community. Is there any more questions?
I think chat box में उन्होंने टाइप किया, उनके वो चला जा रहा था ना वो नेटवर्क. देखिए.
Yeah, if you can address Shalaka's question. So she has Shalaka saying that goal setting के लिए ग्राफोलॉजी वर्क करती है, आप कह रहे हैं. तो अगर हम अलग अलग हैंडराइटिंग यूज करेंगे, किस तरह की हैंडराइटिंग यूज करनी चाहिए गोल सेटिंग के लिए, so that it works?
नहीं, any therapy will work, but it has to be done after doing a proper analysis. Just एक goal setting का तो एक ही stroke होता है, but that will go in conjunction with the other traits which will be analyzed in you. Because goal setting will work only if you have good confidence. है कि नहीं? Confidence level भी आपको उसके साथ improve करना होगा. So the therapy has to be done after analysis is done in totality. It is not just अभी जो आपको demo दिया है, this is just a very small fraction of the entire science. It is not even 5% of what is there in this science. So if I just tell you कि T bar going to the right is short temper, you just try to change the T bar. So it has to be seen in conjunction कि आपको temper क्यों आ रहा है, किस लिए आ रहा है. So remember, the therapy has to be done in a proper organized way after going through the analysis in totality.
Right. Arjuna, you have a question?
Yeah, madam, I have a question for speaker. This is really wonderful session. Whatever has been told so far, I'm really convinced, but still I have some doubt in my mind. I want to ask the speaker that what is the logic behind this therapy? No doubt changes happens in our personality, or the result we want we get out of this therapy. I'm completely agreeing for that. But what is the logic, or is there any philosophy or science behind it?
See, as I told you, this science was actually detected by Aristotle about 2000 years back. He had established a link between the mind and the handwriting. And what is there in your mind, it comes in the handwriting. And if you consciously change your handwriting, it changes you. But why this happens? This is something which requires R&D and scientific research. See, I'll give you an example. I am an engineer. My role is to use the principles of science to run the industry, right? But if you want to go into details, why this formula is derived in this way, you have to do research. That is the role of a scientist. So it is something which will require detailed study and scientific research, which is out of my jurisdiction. My role is to help and guide people through the therapy. If you have to go to understand the logic, it is a different sector altogether. You have to go into research.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
How do we get an appointment with you?
See, you can request Gitanjali. She will give my number. You can call me anytime. Appointment
I've
kuch
also
nahi
put
chahiye.
in
Everything
his
is online these
website.
days. Yeah, just give a
Yeah.
call to me and we will do the analysis and therapy online itself. There's no problem.
Shiji, we will
Thank you.
make you connect to him. We will make you connect. And there is a website also we've given on the chat box. You can also look him up on that. And I'm seeing such amazing people here. Conan sir, Lipika, and so many of, people who are themselves speakers. Smita, I'm sure, we probably will have your expertise also on the panel. And I think any more questions? Arjuna, you've done your question. Your hand is still up. So this has been a very, 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 very enlightening and interesting session. There is a lot of science. Frankly, मेरे काफी ऊपर निकल गई कि कौन-कौन से strokes थे, I've forgotten. But some of them, I'm remembering, the ones which should be very careful of. So I'm sure we will see the recording once more and we'll figure out more. But for your actual therapy, your deep analysis, it's always better to do a one-on-one counseling. For that, if you have any questions, you may connect with me or with any of my colleagues here. We have Shalaka, Seema, Darshana, we have Arun, Rajesh, Vikas. Plantuin is a beautiful contributory program. We are taking meditations at early morning because we want it in our lives. So we are sharing with our community. We are doing productivity sessions, leadership sessions, and expert speaks to make you all achieve goals that there are in your life. So stay connected. If you would please, my colleague, please put in the chat box how to get in the group for future understanding and information. Shalaka, if you could do that, that'd be great. So again, on the next Saturday, we are coming up with a new session, something very interesting. So you please stay tuned. And Naveen ji, so many thank yous to you to very easily agree to be here, even though your busy schedule. And my friend, Nidhi, thank you for suggesting that Naveen ji could be on the panel. Such a good sign. I'm sorry, my background is. Thank you for being here and enlightening all of us. It's just a Pandora's box. It's still open. It's just open right now. We have to explore so much and to know ourselves. Thank you so much. I'll keep the session open for another 2 minutes for people to get onto the chat box and press the join link for our WhatsApp groups. we also had a very beautiful session called Creating 2022, in which, like Naveenji was sharing, we could look at our long-term goals and break them up into week by week analysis of what we want to do now, and then focus on visualization of our goals to make that happen. We've had some astounding successes within the community, including a couple of mine. And I would implore you, I would request you to really look at your own growth by joining this wonderful community. Thank you and have a great day, everyone. And I declare this session complete. Thank you.
I have to say this, Gitanjali.
Thanks,
Wonderful
Gitanjali.
session, yeah. Enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you, Reena. I'm looking
So
forward to your
informative and
podcast
so
on this
wonderful.
session. So Reena has been one of our participants. She's a wonderful lady, and she's really sprouted and started doing podcasts while being here in this community. So Reena, we are looking forward to your podcast.
Yeah, sure. In this week.
This session.
In this week. This was a great session. Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Geeta.
Thank you, Naveen ji.
Naveen ji, thanks a lot.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali ji.
Thank you, Naveen. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thank
See
you very
you
much.
next Saturday.